like the title says, have you ever did something out of desperation? Have you ever did something out of desperation? Okay. So let me just throw in some statistics out here in Florida. You know, I already said, you know, young girls, as soon as they get out of high school in Florida, instead of going straight to college, they go straight to the pole. 92% of the females in Florida are strippers. 89% of the females was raised in religious homes. 91% are close to their parents. You know, so rewind, I moved down here to Tampa, Florida with my best friend March of last year. You know, I came down here with a plan. My plan was to get my book published and bring the organization out here, you know, do what God called me to do out here, right? How you know, like, it's hard to say it, but you ever had to do something you really didn't want to do? That's what I had to do. So, I knew I had a time limit to get out my best friend's home because, you know, the baby was going to be born and I had to find my place and I had to find it quick, you know. So he helped me find my place. I was able to move into my place, you know, only paying $75, which is a blessing, you know, being in Tampa for like a week. So I did something that I usually joke about. And you may have joked about it as well. You know, our words are powerful. And we may not realize it, but they are. You speak things into existence. So be careful of what you, the words you say. Like, oh gosh. Sometimes you have to do something uncomfortable to get comfortable. You know, like, I'm happy I had money in my account today. My mother called me because I don't only take care of me, I also take care of my family back in Connecticut. So when people invest in me, like buying my book or invest in the different programs I offer with Women Moving Forward Outreach, I do a dance. I thank God. I praise God. Because I don't have to do that thing that made me uncomfortable. So yeah, I got a phone call today that my lights in Connecticut was shut off. I didn't get a shut off notice. Why is my lights shut off? But I'm happy I had money in the bank to be able to pay the lights, so my family got lights back on. All right? You ever joked about being a dancer? That's something I used to joke about. I dropped my cap. Guess what? I'm still going to pick it up. I'm still going to pick it up. I'm still going to use it to cover my stuff. You know, you ever dance like, I'm this close to being on somebody's pole? You ever joke like that? Like, oh, college is $100K, but this baking soda is 99 cents. Yeah, I joked like that. And this is something I try to hide. Only few people knew about it. But for the first 6 months of me living in Tampa, I was a stripper. I was a dancer. It was the most uncomfortable thing I have ever done. Now, I did some uncomfortable things before, but this is uncomfortable. Every night, I would go to these clubs. I would dance. I would be in pain with my knees hurting, my back hurting. I would be sweating. Guys would be touching me. And I don't like to be touched. Especially from different people, because I feel like different things. And in this time, I'm also feeling disconnected to God. Because I lacked faith. So in this time, and then I'm getting questions from guys. They always ask you who you live with. Oh, what you doing after you leave here? I'm going home. I'm going home to get in my bed. I don't know you. You're not coming to my house. That's the most uncomfortable thing you can put a person through. And that's what I went through just for money. Just to pay bills. Just because I lacked faith. So, you know, I would go home, and before I go in my house, I would sit in my car, the 2010 Honda Accord that I had to get rid of because it was too much memories in that car. I cried every night I left a club. Every night I shook my tail. Every night I was on a pole. Just for about $5. It's time these people wouldn't even, and then we gotta pay house. So I'm paying $25, maybe leaving, not getting nothing. Because I was too nervous to dance. Like people would see me, I'll get dressed, I'll put on a nice pretty outfit. And then I'll go back in the dressing room and I'll put my clothes back on. And I wanna go home. And I wish ladies that do dance, I wish you tell these girls, these young girls that's leaving high school, that's coming straight to the clubs after high school, I wish you tell them that it's not all nice and dandy how you think it is. Yes, I'll get money on certain nights. But guess what? My self-esteem was getting down. My confidence was getting teared down. The enemy had me where he wanted me. He wanted me to not trust God. He wanted me to lack faith. And every time I go home, I would hear this. Oh, ye little faith. Oh, ye little faith. I gave you something. Oh, ye little faith. I'm saying, God, I'm not doing the cleaning business in Florida. God, I even applied for entry-level jobs. I applied for entry-level jobs. I'm talking about Target, Walmart. And then at the end of the application, there's always these tests. Come on, this is Target and Walmart. Why do you got me doing a test? So I'm doing a test, right? And I'll get a question like, Susie comes to work and she's crying. What do you do? Me. I mind my business. I come here to work. I don't know why Susie's crying. That's her business. That is not me. I don't care what Susie got going on. I have to pay my rent. I have to make sure my family in Connecticut is good. I have to make sure my mother is doing what she got to do to stay healthy. I got a lot going on. I don't care about Susie. And then at the end of me taking the test, they'll say, thank you for applying, but at this time, we're going to go with a different candidate. What is it? What is wrong with these jobs right now? What is wrong with these jobs? Wanting these people to take tests for their entry-level jobs just to stock shelves, just to go to a cashier. I have well enough experience with customer service, whether on the phones, whether dealing with money. I worked for banks. I worked for retail. I sold phones. I did this. Now, this is when it gets crazy, right? I applied for T-Mobile. I got the job, right? This is me dancing. I'm making good money, but I finally get a job. This is God getting me out of the dancing scene. So I'm doing the job. I'm doing the training and everything. And it was one day. It was like the last day for the first week. The young man said, oh yeah, let's finish these 2 hours. I want to get my $36. I looked at that man. Now mind you, I'm not me. The devil he took control of me at this time. I feel so nasty and disgusted inside. I feel how I felt when I tried to commit suicide in 2010 at this time. So he says, yeah, I want to finish this 2 hours to get my $36. I said, what? I said, don't ever you fucking remind me how much I get paid. And he looked at me like I was crazy. I said, you just reminded me. You just reminded me. I went to college for 4 years. 4 years. And can't find a job in my major. You just reminded me that I am getting paid $12 an hour to sit down at a job that I am not going to be appreciated. I got up and left, and I told that job, I said, listen, I can't do this. And guess what? I went right back to the pole. I went back to the very thing that I did. I asked God. I prayed for every night to get me out of. But because I was so gung-ho, worried about money. Money. I went back to dancing. Remember, you can't serve two masters. You can't say you serve God. You can't pray. You can't preach. But all you're worrying about is bills and money. How about your self-esteem? What about your worth? I really started forgetting my worth. All for money. Some nights the money was good. Sometimes, they would say, the real dancers got customers. Yeah, I had customers coming to see me. I had people coming. Whether it was $100, $200, $300, they was coming to give me that money. God blessed me with an apartment that I got approved just by paying $75 to move in. God blessed me that I was able to get my car down here knowing that it was on the verge of getting repossessed. I was able to get through every toll without getting pulled over by any cop. Look, this is God working while I'm still worrying about money. I was able to get my Honda out here. Then God blessed me with a job, T-Mobile. I worked for T-Mobile not once, not twice, but 3 times. God blessed me with a job to work for T-Mobile again. And because that man said $12, let me finish these 2 hours so I can get my $36. I left. Not only that, I then started drinking. I almost started popping pills again. This is me going backwards. This is me, what I talk about in my book. If you don't got a copy of my book, please get it. Every time somebody purchases a copy of my book, I am so happy because I know there's going to be a life change from one of them chapters that they read. So again, this is me. I started doing private hotel parties. Now, mind you, I had a manager, a good one. Her name, I'm not going to say it. But she was good. She was putting money in my pocket. I'm talking about money. I'm leaving the club with like five to 1,000. Money. And guess what? One night after leaving a hotel private party, I get pulled over by a cop. I get pulled over by a cop where I now have a DUI misdemeanor. That is God saying, listen, since you're not going to watch and take everything that I'm showing you, since you're not going to sit here and stop this stuff that you're doing just for money, I'm going to stop you. And now you're going to have to pay the consequence. So now my consequence is walking around with a DUI misdemeanor. Thank God I had money, cash, to bail myself out. It took me 2 weeks to tell my mother. It took me 2 weeks to tell my mom that I got a DUI charge. But I didn't tell her the reason why. I didn't tell her I was dancing. I didn't tell her that I was dancing to, originally to get my book published. I was going to go with a published company that was only asking for $850. Mind you, I could have, started the process to getting it published. But I wasn't even worrying about the book anymore. I wasn't even worrying about the book anymore. I wasn't even worrying about the lives that is called for me to help. Imagine a building. I want you to do this. Imagine a building with a door, but it says closed. And it's a line full of people. A line full of people waiting for me to accept my calling. To accept what I have to do. Accept getting the book published so they can get healed from their pain. So they can renew their mindset. So they can get inner peace. But I'm too busy on somebody's pole hanging myself. In the Bible, Judas, after denying God and betraying God, he goes and he hangs himself. I was that Judas on that pole, hanging myself. But I am here to say I am happy I do not dance anymore. I sometimes go through money issues, but guess what? I don't dance to get my money. I go hard for my business. I go hard for Women Moving Forward Outreach. I go hard for Transformation Against All, 10 Steps to Rebuilding Your Life for Women. So if you want to meet with me, I am going to post, the different links that you can meet with me, have your 15-minute session with me, 30-minute session, or your hour session. I'm going to post a link to purchase my book. Every time you purchase my book, you're not just helping me, you're helping my family. You're helping other ladies around this world that need it. You're helping other young ladies that's leaving high school, just going to the pole. So I'm asking you guys to please share this video. I am very transparent. I am very open with my story because I said this in the beginning of the year. I was going to share my journey. And I am keeping my promise to share my journey. And it's not easy. But it's going to be well worth it. So I ask you guys to share this video. You never know who you're going to help. And again, do not be a slave to money. If you say you love Jesus, if you say you love God, serve him and have faith. Don't be Jamisa how I was back when I started dancing with a little faith. All right? Thank you guys.